The person most likely to ruin your diet isn't you. It's the friend sitting across from you at dinner saying, "Come on, just have one drink. It's not going to kill you." They're right. One drink won't kill you. But they didn't say it once. They said it every Friday for 3 months. And each time you caved, not because you wanted the drink, but because saying no felt harder than just drinking it. Somewhere between month 1 and month 3, you stopped making progress. And you couldn't figure out why, because you were only having one drink, which turned into 2, which turned into drinks and appetizers, which turned into, "I'll restart Monday." The biggest threat to your fitness isn't bad information or a bad program. It's good people with bad influence. And understanding that dynamic might be the most important thing you do for your progress this year. In reality, you have the friends you have. You love them. They love you. They are not trying to sabotage you, not consciously. But the myth that your friends will naturally support your fitness journey is just that, a myth. Most won't. Not because they're bad people, but because your change makes them uncomfortable in ways they can't articulate and probably don't even realize. Here's the thing nobody says out loud. When you start changing your habits, you are silently communicating to everyone around you that their habits might not be good enough. You're not saying that. You're literally just eating chicken instead of pizza. But to the guy next to you eating pizza, your chicken is an accusation. Your discipline is a mirror. And most people don't like what they see when someone else's behavior forces them to look at their own. This isn't just a fitness thing. Research showed that health behaviors spread through social networks, almost like contagion. If your close friend gains weight, your likelihood of gaining weight increases by something like 57%, not because they're feeding you, because behavior is social. We eat like the people we eat with, and when one person starts doing something different, the group pushes back, not out of cruelty, out of homeostasis. The group wants to stay the same the way a thermostat wants to stay at 72 degrees. You're trying to change the temperature and the system keeps correcting. The first type is the enabler, the just one won't hurt friend, the live a little friend. They frame every temptation as a gift, freedom from your self-imposed rules. They genuinely think they're being nice. But the enabler can't tell the difference between "my friend needs to relax" and "my friend's discipline is making me feel bad about my 3rd beer, and I'd feel better if they had one too." I was the enabler for years before I got into fitness. A buddy started eating clean and I remember saying, "Bro, you're not even fat. Why are you doing this to yourself?" Like his decision to eat better was something being done to him. What I actually meant, translated from the original insecurity, was "please keep eating like me so I don't have to think about the fact that I eat terribly." The second type is the concern troll. "Are you sure you're eating enough? I read that too much protein is bad for your kidneys." They dress their discomfort up as worry. And the genius of it is that you can't push back without sounding like a jerk. They framed it so that any resistance on your part makes you the unreasonable one, the obsessed one. I want to be clear. Sometimes genuine concern is genuine concern. If you're eating 1,200 calories at 6'2", your friends might be right. I'm talking about the version where you're doing everything reasonably, and someone who doesn't train suddenly becomes a nutritional expert the moment your habits make them uncomfortable. The third type is the withdrawer. They don't say anything negative. They just disappear. Invitations slow down. The group chat starts happening without you. Not because they kicked you out, because you said no to enough Friday nights that they stopped asking. This one hurt me the most. I lost a friend group not dramatically, just slowly because I kept choosing the gym over going out. Nobody was wrong. We just drifted. And I spent 6 months wondering if getting in shape was worth it, if it meant eating alone on a Saturday night. Here's the part nobody admits. You don't give in because you're weak. You give in because the social cost of saying no is immediate, and the fitness cost of saying yes is delayed. Saying no means awkwardness right now, with people you care about. Saying yes means maybe 100 extra calories that won't show up for weeks. Your brain does that math in half a second and picks the option that avoids immediate pain every time. Your friend looks at you and says, "You're really not going to have anything?" And there's this tiny loaded silence where you can feel everyone's attention shift to you. And your brain decides that a beer is easier than being the weird one. So you have the beer, and it's fine. Except it happens again the next week, and each time you give in, the precedent gets stronger. Your friends learn you'll cave if they push. You learn that caving feels better in the moment, and slowly, your social life becomes the leak in the boat that keeps sinking your progress. I tracked it once. I went back through 3 months of my food log and marked every unplanned meal or drink that happened because of social pressure. 11 times in 3 months. At a conservative estimate, that's probably 8 to 10,000 extra calories. About 2.5 to 3 pounds of fat I would not have gained if I'd said no. That doesn't sound like a lot until you realize I was trying to lose a pound a week, and these social meals were erasing 3 weeks of progress every 3 months. First, stop explaining yourself. The more you justify your food choices, the more you invite debate. I'm on a cut, opens a conversation. I'm tracking macros, opens a conversation. You know what doesn't? I'm good, thanks. No explanation, no defense, no opening for someone to argue with your reasoning. You don't owe anyone an explanation for what you eat. I'm good is a complete sentence. Second, pre-commit socially. Before you go out, decide what you're going to eat or drink. Tell one friend you trust, "Hey, I'm sticking to 2 drinks tonight. Just giving you a heads up." This makes you accountable and reframes your decision as already made. You're not deciding in the moment. You already decided. It's way easier to follow a decision you made at 3 p.m. when you were rational than to make one at 11 p.m. when your friend is buying shots. Third, accept that some relationships will change. Some friendships are built almost entirely on shared habits, drinking together, eating out together. When you change those habits, the foundation shifts. The friends who actually care about you will adapt, maybe awkwardly, maybe slowly, but they'll figure it out. The ones who only liked you as a drinking buddy, those aren't friendships. Those are arrangements. And arrangements end when the terms change. That's not a loss. That's information. The hardest part of getting in shape isn't physical. It's the identity shift. When you change your body, you're changing who you are in your social group. You're redefining your role. And roles in friend groups are sticky. If you were the guy who was always down to eat, always down to drink, always easygoing, changing that threatens the ecosystem. And here's what really got me. Some of the pushback wasn't about me at all. My friend who kept saying I was getting obsessed wasn't worried about my health. He was worried about what my discipline said about his lack of it. My cousin who said I was getting too skinny was seeing his own body next to mine and not liking the comparison. That's not their fault. I've been on both sides of it. I've been the friend who undermined someone's progress because I was uncomfortable, and I've been the one whose progress got undermined. Both sides suck. But understanding that it's not about you, it's about what you represent, changes everything. You stop taking it personally. You stop needing their approval. And you start making decisions based on what you actually want instead of what the table expects. The calisthenics playbook is built for real humans with real friends and real Friday nights. It's not a 6-day-a-week bodybuilder schedule that assumes you have no social obligations. It fits into an actual life, which turns out to be the most important feature a training program can have. Link below. Subscribe if this one hit a little too close to home. I'm basically your friend who also happens to be a calisthenics nerd who makes videos about his feelings, which sounds like a terrible elevator pitch, but somehow it's working. Go be healthy around people who don't get it. They'll catch up, or they won't. Either way, you'll be fine.